My marriage story began with an unpleasant incident. I was in a car accident, and a strange guy, my future husband, jumped out of his pickup truck onto the road, asking me what was hurting me. To my surprise, I wasn't in any pain. He witnessed the accident and stopped to help. At that time, he was just a young man with his girlfriend in the car. I was in shock, shaking from stress, but he was very attentive and supportive. After the help, he left me his number saying we should meet, and later confessed that he fell in love at first sight. We got married just 3 months after we met. This man was the only one for me. That's not to say our marriage was a fairy tale. I didn't know what happy marriages were like. I liked everything about him. I loved everything, but sometimes his comments made me think about divorce. But soon, after my daughter was born and he asked me to stop working, and after my son came along, I stopped thinking about divorce. It seemed impossible that I would be alone with the 2 children I loved so much. But life brought changes. My husband got a promotion at work. He worked in a company where there were many young and beautiful women. He began to pay more and more attention to the children, going for walks with them, postponing his business. Then one day he said we needed to talk. I had already realized that our conversation would be about our future, which seemed to no longer exist. I felt anxious, but I tried to stay calm. I felt sick and asked to postpone the conversation, but he insisted that we needed to talk now since he needed to leave today. I love my children, but I no longer have the feelings for you that I had before. I'll help if you need it. Just tell me and I'll come to the rescue. I will spend weekends with my kids. I'll live apart. Let the kids think I'm at work. I'll explain it to them myself later, he said. I don't need anything more from you. I wanted to shout those words, but work. I don't have the means to feed my children yet. As he walked away, I asked, "Who is she?" "Just a woman. We haven't had anything serious yet. I just need to leave today." "Really need to," he replied. He left and came back. "Tell me everything's okay. The money is in your account. I'll make sure everything is taken care of," he assured me. "Don't worry, I don't need a husband like that. 10 years with you was fine. And now, goodbye. Make your choice," I replied. And I blocked his contact. He left with 2 suitcases. I put the rest of his stuff in boxes out of sight. I looked at my sleeping children and realized I didn't need him anymore. I won't change the key. I'll tell the kids that Daddy will work 5 days a week, and I don't care anymore if he remembers me or not. The decision was made. I didn't divide myself between 2 lives. I own everything anyway. I'm only 32 years old. I can't spread myself thin. I need to raise my children, be an example to them, enlist my parents to help me raise them while I start to get back on my feet again. I have education, health. I'm in good shape. I have a full closet. I cook and clean like a normal person. And let him try for someone else if his wife is not suitable for him. When I get a job and establish a routine, I'll buy the kids a dog. Otherwise, we'll be saying goodbye to guinea pigs and drowning in tears again. I don't need anything from him, but he will give the kids help. And that's good. I'll file for divorce, let him officially pay for maintenance. I endured after he left all day and almost all night, and of course I cried. I realized that the female psyche cannot withstand when everything collapses in an instant. You have to cry. Let the pain come out through your tears. My heart was open, but he didn't choose me. There came days when I desperately wanted him back. I wandered restlessly around the apartment at night like a caged animal. I decided to drink peppermint tea with Melissa, which had soothed me since childhood and helped me fall asleep. Weekends became a torment for me. I wanted to run to him, hug him, and just cry in his arms as I cried pregnant. When I was told that something was wrong with the baby, it was necessary to conduct an examination. I was very scared then, but it turned out that everything was fine. But I cried with fear for 2 weeks. And after the separation, it was very scary to be alone. 2 months passed like a dream. The shock wore off. On the 3rd month, I told my mom about everything and went to file for divorce, not knowing that he would find out right away. I realized that his leaving was for a reason. He had made a choice in favor of another woman. I longed to see her, but held myself back. It's easier this way. He's gone and that's it. From his ex-girlfriend, he left me immediately. We got close after 3 days, but from his wife, how much time and thought did he spend on his choice? I didn't know. The moment I filed for divorce, she found me. I got a job as a consultant at a cosmetic store, and after training, I started working on the sales floor. I knew it was her right away. She bought perfume, body and hair care products for a large sum. I was earning that much a month. I smiled at her, greeted her, and sex. Use with pleasure. We look forward to seeing you again. She looked at me silently and smirked. I started waking up earlier before work, learning how to apply makeup. My coworkers gave me a special flat iron to do my hair, and I decided to get one for myself. It was expensive, but high quality. I had to work and raise my children. I had to get used to a new workplace, so I didn't want to think about a new relationship. I was still married. My kids and I became interested in a painting studio. We created amazing masterpieces that the kids gave to their father on the weekends. One day, my daughter wrote me a letter in her own hand saying that I was the best mom, that they were proud of me, that she wants to be just like me, and that she dreams of mom and dad making up. Time passed, days, weeks, months. Men visited the perfume store, and I noticed that many of them were looking for relationships. One day, a young man waited for me after the mall closed and offered to buy me coffee. I was grateful to him, for he gave me the confidence that men liked me, but I turned him down. After a while, my husband asked me to unblock his contact. He started texting from another number, but I didn't reply. I decided that this way I could help him to forget me faster. I earned money for a vacation we took with my parents. We had a great vacation, and when I returned, I got a surprise. My husband came back. He greeted us as if he had never left. He cooked us a meal in several pans. Smiling and laughing in his new kitchen apron, the kids sat down to eat dinner with him, and I retired to the bathroom and didn't come out for almost 2 hours. When the kids were asleep, I told him that I had gotten a man. Therefore, I couldn't let him come back. My husband was helplessly surprised. He didn't understand at first, and then he started looking at me knowingly, and I looked at him as if he wasn't there, imagining my husband with another woman, especially since I had already seen her in the store. My husband immediately got dressed and leaving said that I quickly forgot him. I didn't say anything. I had a belated anger and hatred for him. After this incident, I decided that I need a man close in spirit and values of life. I wanted my words to my husband to be true. One day, a handsome man started flirting with me. He suggested that we get to know each other outside of the store. After the first meeting, I realized that I liked my husband the best. But after the second and third meeting, things turned out better than I thought. I started seeing this man in secret so the kids wouldn't find out. Every weekend, my husband would come over to the kids' house, and at one point, he came with his things without telling me. We didn't share an apartment. We had a mortgage and he was helping me pay for it. He said he always had dreams about me and couldn't live without us. He proposed to me again, but I agreed only for the sake of the children because they loved him very much, but asked to sleep separately. At night, I came to him and told him I couldn't continue our relationship. He left again with his things. I found out from his mom that he changed his job, bored, not very happy with his life, started following me. I became afraid that he would find us out about my new relationship with a man, so I ended the relationship. I told him everything and hurt a good man. I decided it was better to be alone for now. Maybe there was a right solution where everyone would be okay, but I didn't know him. I had some premonitions building up inside me. I made the decision to say no to both of them. Let me make countless mistakes. Let me end up alone, but I don't want to regret my choice, and let him not regret it either. I remembered our acquaintance and thought he would find someone else. Someone would hit his car, and they would get to know each other. The kids got older and started spending weekends with friends. We saw each other less and less, once a month or even 2. One day, I got a call from the hospital. My husband had been in a car accident. He's in serious condition. At that moment, I realized that I loved him so much that I couldn't live without him. I'm 42 years old, and I look at my graying husband with a broken leg, in a diaper, in Ives, who looks at me and cries. And I propose to him, and he nods and whispers something with trembling lips. I read his mind, and I know the word is, I'm sorry, my husband is back again. And then his old mother comes in and kicks me out of the room to take care of her son. She angrily asks me if I am satisfied with such healing, but I know it's not healing. It's just that we haven't found better each other. We have never loved each other more than the moment he asks me, girl, are you okay? Does something hurt? Friends used to say to me, do you need a husband like that, dear? It wasn't supportive. It was an attempt to put me in my place. He was good. I don't know what happened, but he was good. And he still is 20 years later. We met and married, subconsciously connecting. We remembered and didn't want to forget the past. He came back and I accepted him because people often overestimate their actions. Choices can be right or wrong, and decisions can bring joy or unhappiness, even if they are made responsibly.